And welcome back to AM Live. Ripped apart, restitched, and then recreated. This is what the work of Preeti Sood goes through before she deems it finished.
Preeti is a printmaking artist, and her pieces combine traditional printmaking processes with contemporary laser technology. Originally from India, she found her inspiration after moving to London.
Well, Preeti describes her art pieces as a representation of being torn and displaced between cultures, as well as the transformation that is evolving within and without. So that's fairly abstract, but we've got the artist in studio this morning to explain what exactly that notion means.
Welcome, Preeti. Good to have you on the show with us. As we were talking about earlier on, you were inspired moving from Delhi to London. What was it about that that made you,
Start off with the work, you mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, it didn't happen that I planned anything. It just happened that once I moved over there and I wasn't aware of what I would be expecting of moving to the different country, and knowing that India is a very different kind of a place, and I was brought up in a very conservative family altogether. So moving to Britain was a very big step for me. But not knowing it, I wasn't planning what will happen, and I was cataloguing a lot of work because I went to pursue my further education there. Yeah. And as a body of work, you have to make something, and I used to travel using the tubes in the underground, and I came across these ripped images, which when I was taking the photograph, I was not aware why I'm doing so. But later, reviewing the work as an artist yourself, I was thinking that probably it was a very disturbed time where I was trying to figure out where I am and what I'm here for, and the culture was so different, and I was feeling very torn, and it was kind of my own reflection that I could see in the work, like lots of layers, one over the other, and that's where I could see that my emotional layers are very, getting subdued inside, and there is nobody to express them.
So it's because you went in there with no expectations, and then you realized, oh, this is a totally different environment, different culture. So you felt yourself being ripped apart as well, I suppose, and then coming up with your new identity in a way, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's reflected in your work, but you use modern technology with traditional printmaking. I mean, laser technology to be specific.
Yes.
How do you marry the two? I mean, in what way does the laser technology come into play?
It happened that I did my graduation and I learned all the traditional techniques of printmaking. I've been very fascinated towards the process itself. And you get one day to do your own research, and I was doing research in the studio, and the modern technology was something that was in my studio. Nobody was using it. So me being the person in charge, I ended up using that technology.
Almost accidental in a way.
It was completely. Many of my work is so accidental that I just happened to take the paper, because paper is very much part of printmaking processes. So I took the paper, I had the image with me, and I started using the machine on it, and it came out as a beautiful decay image, and that's what exactly I was taking the images from the street.
Is that what we're looking at? This huge piece that you brought in for us. I believe it's called Bollywood calling Amitabh Bachchan?
No, that's right. That's Sunny Deol.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So this is a clear, perfect example of how you use traditional paper with laser technology?
Yes, yes. And the image is actually printed, and then I choose which areas I don't want to be too prominent and which areas I want to be taken away, and it becomes like a delicate tissue within the paper. So there are two different layers that you see. One is the etched layer, and the other is the layer which is printed. So there are layers within the paper, like 300 GSM paper is etched and etched, so there are lots of layers between the paper.
It's a beautiful piece, and it looks very urban as well. And but I was going to ask you, why did you choose to express your emotions through printmaking rather than another medium?
I would say, because I've done 3 degrees in printmaking, I've specialized in printmaking. I did my second master's while moving to, that was the reason I moved to London. And because printmaking has become a part of where I learn my skills from. So not exactly printmaking, this what, I use the processes which falls under printmaking, but it's very diverse. Like I'm using contemporary techniques now and, installing the work. So I'm trying to marriage both the traditional and the contemporary techniques to make it diverse. And as a printmaker, I think printmaking is considered as a third or the fourth cousin of painting, sculpture, and other forms of art. So I think being an artist and practicing under the medium, it's my responsibility to bring up the whole medium, printmaking, altogether.
How long did it take for you to complete this piece?
This one, I think, took me around 3 weeks. but every work differs. You know, in the middle of the work, you might not get what you're really looking for.
Right.
So I come back to the work later. Like these were taken in 2011 or 10, the images, but I actually worked on it towards the end of 2011. So the images were taken before when I travel around London. This was taken in Leicester in UK. So I was looking at similarities between India and London to feel myself at home. There is a green park in London and there is a green park in India. So I was looking at things like there is an Oxford Circus in London, and which is very famous, and there is a Connaught Circus in Delhi. So I was looking at the things, and no doubt India has been ruled by the British Raj and all that. There's a lot of similarities which I was not aware of when I moved.
Is that primarily what inspires you? Looking for something that you can connect with your roots in a foreign land?
Yes, yes, exactly. And you learn much more when you are there. And when you see yourself, like I was seeing my culture from a distance, so there were many things which I had to question myself, that why do I practice such things and why you just do what your family tells you to do. And that's where one of my piece, which is identity, and I can relate myself to it a lot as well. It's a female image of a torn face, and I can relate it to myself because as a female I was questioning lots of questions. Am I supposed to, you know, be married at a particular age, or am I supposed to follow these
all the traditions and
yes. So
rituals.
Through the urban images, I'm trying to, you know, explain what is you're going through inside.
Do you think art has helped you in your pursuit of the truth of what your purpose is in life for you?
I think I would say art has really helped me to express it out as a visual language, and I feel very good. Never thought of being an artist, but I feel good and content that you can express yourself, which is very important to an extent, and I believe everybody is an artist to an extent.
And then you rediscover yourself. So
yes.
Well, I mean, I think obviously your work shows your identity and it says a lot about your culture as well. But I mean, with this piece, for instance, I was going to ask, is there something, do you feel a particular connection with Bollywood cinema?
I was missing watching a movie, actually, and I haven't seen, I was living in Lincoln, and in Lincoln is a small town outside London, and it's, they don't get any Indian movies there. The only, you know, there will be few, and they're all in different language, which is English. So I was actually going to Leicester to get my spices, eat something Indian curry, and while I was walking, I had only limited time, so I did wanted to see a movie. Didn't happen to do that, so I just carried these images back with me. I physically ripped them as well, so I have the real poster with me in my studio. I have it with me, and I paste them in the book. That's another piece of work I'm doing.
So when you're doing these artworks, it must make you think about home as well when you're actually putting the piece together.
Yes. I think when I'm doing all this work, it acts like a therapy. You know, when you're missing something and you cannot do anything about it, you can maximum write letters home or do something. But when I'm doing these processes, you know, you can put your emotions right in there, how you want it to be, and all that makes you feel comfortable about.
So your exhibition here right now is called If Walls Could Talk. Now, if walls could talk and the participants go and appreciate your work, what is it that we should take away? What is it that the wall should be saying to us?
I think the images that I've captured is something which is in every city, no matter it's London, Paris, New York, or even Singapore. These images do exist in some kind, because advertisement is everywhere, and those are the street images that I've taken, and I do want people to look at them again and just question them if they can relate it to, you know, themselves in some manner. There's something that I'm bringing from outside the gallery into the gallery, and to make them sensitive. If that can create any emotion in them, then I would think I'm successful.
So take a moment and don't just walk them by, and take a moment to see what they're saying to you.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Preeti, for coming in this morning. And Preeti telling us more about her work, and she'll be having a solo exhibition in Southeast Asia. If Walls Could Talk, that's the name of the exhibition, and it debuts in Singapore this weekend.
And it's going to showcase 2 series encompassing more than 25 artworks. If you'd like to know more information on the exhibition, do visit the website on your screen.
So make a date, take note of the dates and time there. We'll be right back with more world news updates, so don't go away.